51 years ago, a story was spun about a man on the run in a blue box. He called himself the Doctor, and ever since that day he has amassed a great following and built a universe filled with the most heroic humans, the strangest creatures, and the most ruthless evils. He's explored the themes of life, death, friendship, loyalty, leadership, and where the line that separates right from wrong truly lies. He's touched the hearts of people across generations worldwide and has kept them asking that ever-present question.
Dr. Who?
Having gone on 50 years strong, the story's pretty involved, so we're just going to hit the things that you absolutely need to know about the Doctor. The rest is up to you. First, we have the man of the hour, the Doctor, a time-traveling humanoid alien known as a Time Lord from the planet of Gallifrey, who stole a spaceship time machine, later dubbed the TARDIS by his granddaughter, and has been running up and down all of time and space ever since. He's saved a good number of things, like the fabric of time, reality as we know it, and the universe, more times than we care to count. He manages to survive every time due to a wibbly-wobbly-timey-whimey Time Lord ability known as Regeneration, which allows the Doctor to transform into a completely new person whenever he suffers fatal damage or, old age. In all of his travels, however, he's taking a particular liking to a homely little planet called Earth and its adolescent dominant race, humans. He's been known to pick up a stray here or there and take them along, tempting them with sights and adventures beyond what they could ever dream of. Some went on to greatness, some not, and some, unfortunately, became martyrs for the cause. We certainly don't have time to go over everyone who's got the Doctor's number, but here are a couple of names you should know. Sarah Jane Smith was a journalist who ran with Doctor Number 3. She traveled with the Doctor for some time and back in the day was the companion, the first out-and-out troublemaker to ever stow away on the TARDIS. That is, until the Doctor kicked her out. For her own good, granted. Rose Tyler was the first companion for Doctor Who after its reboot in 2005, and the first face this new generation of Whovians ever saw. She started traveling with Doctor Number 9 after plastic people tried to take over England, gained the name Bad Wolf after staring into the heart of the TARDIS and absorbing the time vortex, giving her the powers of a god, fell in love with Doctor Number 10, and got trapped in an alternate reality with a human version of him. Quasi-Time Lady River Song was complicated. She was conceived in the TARDIS by the Pawns, companions of Dr. 11, stolen at birth, trained to kill the Doctor, and ended up marrying him instead. Well, actually, she did both. Or neither? Because she did kill the Doctor, but it wasn't really the Doctor, and they did get married in an alternate timeline that ceased to exist.
Wibbly-wobbly-timey-whimey.
Clara Oswald is the Doctor's impossible girl, and his current partner in crime. She's met the Doctor multiple times in multiple lives and always gives him one message.
Run. Run, you clever boy. And remember.
The Doctor searched through all of history to find a way for a person to live multiple lives when he found the Clara Oswald of 2012, who seemed to be at the center of it all. Turns out she jumped into his timeline to save him from being killed in many different, painful ways, which shredded her into 100 echoes of herself dotted all along the Doctor's life. After 1,000 years or so, the name The Doctor has become infamous, among many other names gifted to this self-proclaimed madman with a box. Protector of Earth, the Caretaker, the Old One, the Watcher, the Oncoming Storm. The Doctor has built quite a reputation for himself. But of course, all this fame comes at a price, and one doesn't get a name like the Great Exterminator without making a few enemies along the way. So let's talk about monsters. If we're talking about enemies of the Doctor, then of course we have to talk about the Daleks. Created at the whimsy of a mad scientist playing at creating a species with no moral compass, they are by far one of the most hated and feared races in all the universe. They crossed paths with the Doctor on multiple occasions before cementing their place at the top of the Doctor's hit list when they entered into a war with the Time Lords, creating a crisis that threatened to burn every moment in time and space and forcing the Doctor to commit a massive homicide against the Daleks and his own people in order to save all of creation. Or did he? They have suits that are nearly impossible to destroy, say exterminate a lot, and can fly. And originally, that was a plunger. Ladies and gentlemen, the most terrifying creature known to man. Next up we have the Cybermen, equally as unencumbered by a moral compass and yet even more cold and calculating than the Daleks. They hail from a planet that used to be Earth's twin and have a thing about converting the human race into soulless machines. More often than not, the Doctor opposes their schemes, having a thing about being the savior of the human race. They lack emotion and the capacity to feel pain, and have been known to be the favored pets of a couple of big baddies. And we have Weeping Angels, the crowning jewel of the current generation of Doctor Who. They're quantum-locked humanoid creatures who feed off of people's time energy and drop them off in the past to live out the rest of their lives. They can move as long as no one's watching, but as soon as you lock eyes with them, they can't. So if you ever find yourself face-to-face with one, heed the Doctor's advice and...
Don't blink. Don't even blink. Blink and you're dead. They are fast, faster than you could believe. Don't turn your back. Don't look away, and don't blink. Good luck.
And that is what you need to know about Doctor Who. We could go more into the friends, the foes, and the story, but it's so much more fun to find those things on your own. This, at the very least, will get you started. In March of 1962, at BBC, a proposal for a new sci-fi serial entitled Doctor Who, General Notes on Background and Approach, was drawn up by the likes of staff writer C.E. Weber and head of drama Sidney Newman. However, it'd be another year until the idea came to light. After citing actor William Hartnell and shooting the first episode twice, the very first episode aired on November 23, 1963, a full 15 minutes after it was supposed to. It was watched by an audience of 4.4 million people. On December 21st, the Daleks make their very first appearance, although the audience only sees their menacing plunger. By the end of their first story arc on February 1st, 1964, they've already more than doubled their viewership, clocking their audience at about 10.4 million. Things go good for Doctor Who after that, branching out into novelizations and cycling through a few companions. But then Doctor Who sees trouble after Hartnell announces that he will be leaving the role of the Doctor on August 6th, 1966, due to his failing health. We first see the concept of regeneration introduced on October 29th of the same year when Hartnell's Doctor fell and Patrick Troughton took center stage. Doctor Who enjoyed great success for 26 seasons, branching out into novels, radio dramas, comics, and the likes, until in 1989 it is reluctantly cancelled due to declining views. There's an attempted revival in 1996 with a TV movie starring Paul McGann as the 8th incarnation of the Doctor, and his only on-screen appearance until 2013's Night of the Doctor. The TV reboot was ultimately unsuccessful, but novels and comics still ran strong along with charity shows on occasion. The true revival of Doctor Who, relaunching the show into a new era known as Modern Who, took place in 2005 with Russell T Davies heading the project and Kristofer Eccleston starring as Doctor Number 9.
I'm the Doctor, by the way. What's your name?
Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life.
Since then, Doctor Who's been going strong, Russell T Davies handing over the reins to Stephen Moffat and the Doctor regenerating 3 times until we finally land on current-day Doctor Peter Capaldi. Doctor Who has become an institution and a part of the very culture in England, and has amassed a steadily growing cult following stateside. And Doctor Who's fanbase, commonly known as Whovians, are active, dedicated, and involved. They create fanfiction, theories, even bands centered around the show. Their cosplaying community is strong too. There is, however, a minor fandom divide. On one side, you've got classic Whovians, your parents who watched the show growing up and loved it before the 2005 reboot, back when the Doctor kinda looked his age. Then you've got modern Whovians, who got into the franchise after the reboot and loved the boyish, younger-looking Doctors. And Capaldi. There is one question you can ask any Whovian, however, and that is who is their favorite incarnation of the Doctor and who is their favorite companion. We put a poll out on Geeks Under Grace, and this is what we found. When asked, which is your favorite Doctor, 40% of you said Matt Smith, 40% of you said David Tennant, 10% of you said Kristofer Eccleston, and 10% of you said Peter Capaldi. When asked, which is your favorite companion, 60% of you said at least one of the Ponds, 20% of you said Donna Noble, 10% of you said Rose Tyler, and 10% of you said Clara Oswald. When asked which era of Doctor Who you most identify with, 80% of you said Modern Who, 20% of you said both. And that is what you need to know in order to dive into the world of Doctor Who. Summarizing the show has been quite a task, and there were so many things that we didn't get to talk about, such as the Doctor's rivals, spin-off shows, And, well, the Doctor's sonic screwdriver. But with all of time and space at your hands, we're sure you'll find those things out on your own. Until then, we'd better get going. We've got a lot of running to do.